You know, I think the biggest barrier for small businesses trying to actually use AI really effectively, it isn't the tech itself, or even like the cost.
Right.
It's the inconsistency, the sheer sort of cognitive tax of it all. Think about that mental drain, right? How much time do you actually spend each week scrolling back through old emails or messages, trying to find that one really good prompt, the one that worked perfectly last Tuesday?
Oh, it's such a waste of time. And maybe even more importantly, it injects inconsistency right where you don't want it. It really can hurt your brand.
Yeah.
You might get, say, a perfect, totally on-brand social media post on Monday,
Right.
and then something kind of messy and off-tone on Friday just because you forgot one crucial little instruction. So the core idea we've pulled from the research here is that the business is succeeding with this. They're solving it by, well, locking their best instructions in place.
Locking them in.
Exactly. These customized AI assistants, specifically Gemini Gems, they let you define the perfect structure, the right tone, the guardrails.
No.
You do it once.
It's just once.
And that turns potentially hours of repetition, or worse, inconsistent results, into a single reliable click. You get highly specific on-brand stuff every time.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, powered by Ravensight AI, where we explore how individuals and small businesses can leverage the power of AI at work.
So today, we're really diving into that consistency and efficiency piece. The problem we're tackling for you, if you're a small business owner or maybe the founder, is that constant tension between getting things done fast and getting them done right.
Yeah, speed versus quality. It's classic.
It is. You need reliable, professional, consistently on-brand outputs for all those repeatable tasks, drafting client outreach emails, summarizing internal docs, compliance stuff.
All that.
But right now, what do most teams do? They fall back on manually copying and pasting prompts, which is, frankly, inconsistent and often pretty frustrating.
Yeah, you end up feeling like you're constantly reminding the AI tool who you are, what your brand should sound like, maybe even the legal constraints you have to work under.
Exactly.
If that sounds familiar, you probably need a gem. What the team at Ravensight AI found is that this tool really bridges that gap. It sits between just generic chat and needing full-blown, complex automation systems. It gives you a massive boost in quality control, like right now.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit. What exactly is a Gemini Gem?
Right. So think of it as a specialized, kind of customized version of Google's main Gemini assistant.
Okay.
But the crucial part is, it's designed to remember a very specific set of instructions. It acts like a reusable expert, almost like a mini employee, for those tasks you do over and over again.
And what's really interesting there is how it hits that issue you raised earlier, the cognitive load.
Yeah.
Standard Gemini, it's built to handle basically anything. It's like this enormous multifunction toolbox, right? Designed for infinite possibilities.
Infinite possibilities, which often means infinite ambiguity for the AI, doesn't it?
That's a perfect way to put it. So if standard Gemini is that big general toolbox, a gem is more like a perfectly calibrated wrench. It's specifically designed for that one really important high-stakes bolt you find yourself dealing with every single day.
I like that analogy. It has one job.
One job. And because its instructions are narrow, they're specific, they're permanent, it does that job consistently, perfectly, every single time.
So it doesn't just get rid of the typing, which is nice.
Right.
It gets rid of the mental work, the cognitive labor of managing the prompt itself.
Exactly. Think about how many times you've had to switch contexts, right? You jump from a customer email over to a spreadsheet, then back to a chat window, just to kick off a simple task.
Happens all the time.
When those instructions are baked into a single named tool, your gem, you eliminate that mental tax. You stop having to sort of retrain the AI every single time you need that specific job done.
Because the training's already done. It's baked in, locked down, ready to go.
Precisely.
Okay, so if the quality of the output really depends, like 100%, on how good those instructions are, how do we actually go from that nice wrench analogy to building a gem that's actually useful?
Right.
I can imagine a founder listening and thinking, okay, wait, isn't this just shifting the work, putting more effort in up front?
And that's a fair point. It is an upfront time investment. Maybe, say, 30 minutes, maybe an hour if it's complex, to really craft that perfect prompt.
Okay.
But that initial investment, it pays off the very first time you use the gem. Because you're not just writing a prompt, you're creating an asset, something you can use potentially thousands of times. Or, crucially, share across your whole team.
An asset, not just a prompt. I like that framing.
And the steps themselves, we've seen they're pretty simple, but the emphasis has got to be on the quality, the specificity of those instructions.
Okay, walk us through it. What are the steps?
So the creation process really breaks it down into 4 clear steps.
Yeah.
First, name it. Give your gem a really specific descriptive job title. Something like quarterly reporting assistant, or maybe client onboarding summary generator. Make it obvious what it does.
That naming step feels important. It gives it an identity, a purpose right away.
Yeah, exactly. Then second, and honestly, this is the most critical part, write clear instructions and guardrails.
Instructions and guardrails, okay?
The instructions obviously describe the task, the tone you want, the format maybe, but the guardrails, those are the negative constraints.
Negative constraints.
Yeah, what the gem absolutely must not say or do. For any small business, especially if you're in a regulated space, these guardrails are basically your brand safety net.
Can you give an example? Like, what does a guardrail actually look like in practice? Because guardrail sounds a little abstract, maybe technical.
Not at all. It's very practical. It's anything that protects you ethically or legally. So imagine you run a financial planning service. A key guardrail has to be, never offer specific investment advice. Always, always refer the user back to a licensed professional. Simple but critical.
Okay, that makes sense. Or
maybe for a manufacturing company's gem that talks to clients. Never use hype words like best in class or guaranteed results. Things like that.
Ah, okay. So guardrails protect your reputation. They stop the AI from spitting out that common, maybe slightly risky filler language we sometimes see.
Exactly. It proactively manages risk, not just aiming for a good output.
Okay, that shifts the focus nicely. What about step 3? I heard this is where a lot of people maybe don't go deep enough.
Step 3 is add context. And yes, this is absolutely essential for getting consistent results. Too many users just, upload a basic company mission statement and kind of call it a day.
Right, check the box.
Yeah. But to get truly consistent, high-quality output, you need to feed it real examples of what success looks like for that task. Don't just give it the PDF of your brand guidelines.
Well then.
Upload maybe your last 3 press releases that really landed well, or 3 examples of client emails that got great responses. Real stuff.
Ah, okay. So the AI isn't just learning the abstract intent from the guidelines.
Right.
It's learning to mimic the actual execution, the tone, the style, based on what's actually worked before.
Precisely. That preloaded context makes sure your gem generates better, deeper, more consistent output right from the start. And then finally, step 4, use it where you work. And this is a huge practical benefit, your customized gems. They're available directly in that side panel in Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, Drive, even Gmail.
Oh, right in the workflow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to constantly switch tabs or windows to find and launch your special tool. It's just there.
That lack of context switching.
Yeah.
That's huge. It actually reminds me of, there was an anecdote mentioned in the Raven site material about a friend, I think, who runs a small consultancy. And he uses a really specific gem to generate his quarterly letters to investment clients. It captures his authentic voice, slightly dry, but very professional.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And he said it saves him hours compared to writing them all from scratch.
Yeah.
But crucially, they all sound like him. That's the real power, customizing that voice. Now, that anecdote, that shows the time saving for one person, which is great. But for a founder who's trying to scale up,
Yeah.
the real question becomes, how do I multiply that? How do I get that efficiency across my whole team? And maybe even lock down some of that institutional knowledge.
Right.
And I guess that's where the sharing feature comes in. That seems to turn the gem from just a personal shortcut into like a scalable team asset.
That really is the significant leverage point here. For a small business, often your biggest competitive edge is your specific expertise, right? It's how you communicate, how you analyze things, how you sell.
Yeah, your secret sauce.
Exactly, your secret sauce. Sharing a gem lets you standardize that expertise across the team.
How does the sharing actually work? Is it secure?
It is. When you share a gem, the person you share it with, they can use the custom tool, absolutely. But, and this is critical, they do not see your full set of instructions. Or the confidential context files, like those example documents you uploaded.
Okay, that's huge for security. And for protecting your IP, I guess.
Absolutely. So you can take that perfectly crafted prompt, your secret sauce for, say, summarizing internal research or drafting those high-converting sales emails, and turn it into a secured team asset.
Right.
And that ensures every employee is operating at that founder-level quality standard.
Okay. So if I've spent, hours maybe defining the perfect sales cadence.
Mm-hmm.
I can bake that into a prospect follow-up gem, share it with my 2 sales reps,
Yep.
and just know that they're using my standardized approach, the one I know works, without having to constantly remind them or check their drafts.
That's exactly it. You standardize the execution of your brand and your methods without giving away the underlying prompt engineering, the recipe itself.
And that consistency, that means every client interaction reflects the best of the brand. It lowers the risk, too, right, of a new hire maybe sending out something off-brand or badly formatted.
Reduces that risk significantly. Okay, so let's make this even more practical. Let's look at 2 really high-value, repeatable tasks that just consistently eat up time for small business owners.
Okay.
And see how the source material gives us blueprints for building really efficient gems for these.
Let's do it. What's the first one?
First up, the lead reply gem. This is so vital for speed and just being responsive. Sometimes that's the difference between closing a new client.
Or losing them to someone faster.
Exactly. And the suggested instructions here are, well, they're ruthlessly specific.
Oh, yeah.
Like what? Like this. Write a warm 180-word response. Okay, very specific length. Confirm the person's stated need. Then ask up to 3 clarifying questions. And finally, propose a 30-minute introductory call.
Wow, okay. That is specific. 180 words, 3 questions. It almost sounds arbitrary, but I'm guessing there's a strategy behind that.
Oh, it's all strategic. The 180 words, that forces brevity.
Yeah.
Super important for mobile reading, right?
Yeah.
You don't want a huge wall of text as a first contact.
The 3
question.
questions.
That forces immediate lead qualification. It's not just reply to the lead. It forces a structured attempt to convert by immediately seeking that next step, the call.
Okay, makes sense. What's the second example?
The second really powerful one is the document review and summarizer gem. Now, for founders who deal with contracts, big compliance documents, maybe even long client history emails, this thing is gold.
I can see that being useful.
So the gem basically skims these long PDFs or emails and spits back a quick brief focusing on risks and next steps. But the real power here isn't just the summary, it's the required output format.
The format again, which is?
The instruction actually mandates a specific table format, 3 columns, clearly labeled, item, why it matters, and due by.
Item, why it matters, due by.
Okay. That mandatory structure, it's critical. It prevents information overload. The AI is forced to synthesize the entire document down into immediate actionable tasks.
That's brilliant.
It really shows why structured output is kind of the future of prompting, doesn't it? The output's only truly useful if it's almost machine readable, definitely actionable for the human reading it.
Yeah, that structure is fantastic. I can see using that for meeting prep or, like you said, onboarding new clients. When you get that stack of legal docs,
Right.
You go from this huge PDF to a simple 3-column checklist.
Correct.
In seconds.
Right.
Okay, here's the nuance. And Ravensight AI highlights this too.
Yeah.
When is a gem actually enough?
Mm-hmm.
And when should you maybe start thinking about, full automation?
Yeah, this is the tipping point. Every founder kind of needs to figure this out for their own processes. And it really comes down to human involvement. How much do you need to be in the loop?
Okay.
So a gem is probably enough when what you want are consistent drafts or reviews or briefs, and you, the human, initiate the action. You click the gem button.
So human is always involved in kicking it off and probably reviewing the output.
Yeah.
You maintain control.
Exactly. You're in control. But if
Yeah.
you find yourself clicking that same gem button multiple times every single day, and really the process needs to be automatically triggered by something else happening, like an external event, then you've probably hit the limit of what a gem by itself is designed for.
Okay, so give me an example of that trigger.
So we often tell clients, if the actual labor of manually running the gem starts adding up to, say, more than maybe $50 a week in just your lost opportunity cost.
Right, the time you could have spent selling or strategizing.
Exactly. Then you need to look at automating it. If your ideal process sounds like, okay, when a new lead arrives in the inbox, automatically draft a reply using those gem instructions, and then automatically log a summary of that interaction to the CRM.
Right, the multi-step triggered process.
That requires more. That needs tools like Zapier or Make running in the background to connect the systems and trigger the actions.
Okay, but the good news, I guess, is that all that hard work you put into defining the perfect gem instructions, that's not wasted, right?
Oh, not at all. That's the beauty of it. Those clear, effective instructions you spent time developing for your gem, you can literally copy and paste them, reuse them directly in that bigger workflow automation you build.
Ah, okay.
The gem helped you define the perfect execution of the task, Automation just frees the human from having to manually launch it every time. You're just elevating how it gets triggered.
Right. Makes sense. So, okay, let's bring this all together for the busy founder listening. If you remember just one thing from this deep dive, what should it be?
I'd say it's this. Gemini Gems are probably the most accessible, most non-technical way for small businesses right now to standardize that high-quality, on-brand communication and documentation.
Okay. Accessible and non-technical standardization.
Yeah. It helps you move past that frustrating, inconsistent, sometimes low-quality ad hoc prompting, and helps you start building genuinely valuable, secured, reusable team assets that actually scale your unique expertise.
Don't wait for your team to ping you again asking, hey, where's the right prompt for this?
Please don't. We really encourage you. Try this today, like right after listening. Check your own workflow. Find just one bottleneck. Maybe it's that standard client follow-up email you always tweak, or that recurring internal summary doc.
Find one thing.
Find one thing and dedicate just 10 minutes. Seriously, 10 minutes. Try turning that specific, maybe high-stakes task into your very first gem. Just start standardizing your own excellence.
That's a great actionable takeaway. And that's a wrap on this deep dive into bringing consistency to your AI workflow. Thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, you can explore more practical AI tips, insights, and strategies tailored specifically for small businesses by visiting ravensiteai.com.
And join us next time as we continue to unpack the tools that save you time, reduce stress, and help you strategize for growth. We'll be asking a key question. What happens when your lead reply gem becomes so efficient that it actually starts to break your existing sales funnel?